Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, National Weather Watch. Today's June 20th, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop here. GOES 16 satellite imagery. Check out Tropical Storm Brett rolling across the Atlantic. Probably hearing a little bit of chatter about that. Nothing to worry about for the USA as of right now. Wanted to emphasize that, but it is starting to move towards the Lesser Antilles. We'll revisit that statement as it moves south of the Dominican Republic coming up over the next few days as well. But what is a threat right now is this upper level low bringing some flooding conditions here across the southeast, some severe weather with it as well. Classic Rex block situation going here as you got a high pressure kind of pinning the low pressure system here, not allowing it to move out of the area. Big trough dominating the Pacific Northwest and California, keeping temperatures suppressed there as well. Now, taking a look at Tropical Storm Brett here, you can see the forecast wind probabilities here. Some nice stuff here from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. And by Friday morning, should be south of the Dominican Republic there. So we'll continue to watch this and see just what happens as this tropical storm continues to march westward. Now, if you want to read a really interesting and beneficial forecast discussion, check out the Central Pacific Hurricane Center there. They talk about Brett in extreme detail there. So if you have interest in that tropical storm, visit there. This is the European versus the GFS. You can see pretty good model agreement on the track of this system there. So it's really important we wait and see what kind of system this is by the time it gets south of the Dominican Republic before you start sounding any kind of alarm for the southeast USA. This is looking at that upper level low on the mid-level water vapor loop across some of the Gulf Coast here. It brought some tornadoes yesterday, some wind reports, and probably the biggest weather problem with this is the flooding that's occurring as this low is just in no hurry to get out of the area. We'll take a look at that in some detail at the forecast here in a moment. This is blue wind reports. Red is the tornado reports along the Gulf Coast there. You can see the green, some hail reports as well. Big wind gust 65 plus across some of Montana and North Dakota there as well. Some nice structure out there too with some of those severe thunderstorms as well yesterday. This is looking at day one thunderstorm outlook here. Severe weather possible across some of the Dakotas there down into Montana, Louisiana here. But the big story here with that upper level low is some of this flooding potential. You can see the moderate risk there across some of North Carolina, South Carolina, and again tomorrow is that low pressure system not going anywhere at all quickly. This is looking at the NAM 3KM, a high resolution model 12Z. There's a lower 48 states. Put it into motion and you'll see the spin in the atmosphere continue to pop those thunderstorms off, some severe and just not moving anywhere quickly. Look, by the time you get to Thursday, it's still there, just spawning these storms, training over some of the same areas that have gotten really big precipitation amounts already. So yeah, this is the upper level map of that here, 18,000 feet. Kind of going to be a dire situation for some people across the area here. And you see why this is going on. You got this high pressure up here that's just trapping this low. It's not allowing it to move. I mean, the natural flow of the Earth's pattern here is you get this big energy to build up and then it finally tries to move with a heat transfer towards the poles here. But this high pressure is just not allowing that. It pins it here into the area. So as you go off into the GFS, it finally starts to move as we go through the weekend here, replaced by another Jeep trough, if you believe the GFS that far out. But anyway, not going anywhere quickly, and that's what's causing those flooding conditions out there and the flooding concerns. Oppressive heat across Texas will continue here for the next few days. You got some frost and freeze warnings even across Nevada. Big contrast there with that big trough out here and kind of the ridging that's helping with that heat across Texas. This is looking at some of the excessive heat warning out there. Some of these indexes are getting above 115 degrees out there. Just brutal heat. You got to be a pro at beating the heat to live in Texas during the summertime, I'm telling you. This is the heavy rainfall threat continuing here. And you can see this was issued this morning. And you can see the moderate risk and slight risk for the flash flooding conditions there. Look at some of these amounts. And of course, there's going to be locally higher amounts here as well. So hopefully everybody is aware of this flooding concerns across the region. This is looking at apparent temperature, and I'm just going to go through this quickly here, and you can kind of see just that pulsing of this heat during the afternoon hours across Texas. Just brutal and no relief down there. We'll go back to the start here, and you can kind of see that trough across the west. I mean, what a contrast between some of the afternoon temperatures there versus the Rocky Mountains or the Cascade Mountains of Washington here. So yeah, interesting time. Summer is on its way, folks. Risk of hazardous temperatures. You can clearly see that experimental product here by the National Weather Service does include much of the state of Texas, even out all the way out towards, Chicago, even Indiana, Illinois, but it does include a lot of the plains there as well. This is looking at total precipitation for the USA, and this is the European. This is a new one, hot off the presses, and you can continue to see this precipitation just increase across the southeast here. Yeah, pretty crazy, huh? So this one only goes out 53 hours. We're watching that one come in real time right now. This is Flagstaff, Arizona. There are some fire concerns out to the southwest USA and even towards New Mexico there, so have a heads up for that. This is looking at Reno, Nevada here. You can see the freeze warnings and some of the frost advisories out there and the snow melt out there for some of the flood advisories. We've still got some pretty decent amounts of snow across the higher terrain of the Sierra Nevada that is still melting off. And now this is an interesting graphic here. Below normal temperatures continue, but look at Phoenix. At least it's kind of somewhat of a dry heat, at least compared to Texas, right? But I mean, yeah, this is downright oppressive if you live in other areas of the country. I guess it's all relative, right? This is looking at 500 millibars here. Look at this trough across the Pacific Northwest. Very impressive for this time of year. And if you look closely, you can see that low spinning across the southeast as well. But this trough, kind of taking a sweet time coming out of there. And Texas just getting no relief, as you can kind of imagine this ridging just continues here across a lot of the south. This is looking at the surface-based Cape. Now, what's going to happen here is you're going to bring some of this Cape up into the high plains here of Colorado and Wyoming over the next couple of days as well. So you may get some tornadoes or some severe thunderstorms or some big hail out there as you roll through Wednesday especially. Look at all this convective available potential energy moving up slope here. This is looking at day 2. The National Weather Service has taken note. It's all the way up into southeast Wyoming here, Colorado, down in the Texas Panhandle, western Oklahoma and Kansas also, and Nebraska. This is day 3 again for some future chances there also. But this is looking at the drought map here. We have improved some of the drought here across some of the plains here, but there's still some exceptional and extreme drought out there. And we've been developing drought out across some places, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, out there as well as Michigan, out into Pennsylvania also. So hopefully we don't continue to keep those drought conditions going too much there, but it is what it is right now. You can see Texas kind of a mixed bag of no drought and then some exceptional drought in certain places as well. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to keep trying to do these forecasts here, trying to fine tune how I'm going to do them here. But there's always something interesting to talk about across the country, and it's always fun to look at. So I'll try to keep doing these, maybe daily or every other day. We'll see how it goes. So leave some comments below on what you'd like to see, and we'll try this again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.